Right, well today I'm just going to pop locally to make a few inquiries about tyres. I need a new rear tyre on this, and I'm fortunate enough to have a company called Sticky Stuff local to me. They've got a website and you can mail order your tyres, or you can go in there with your bike and have them fitted, or you can take your wheel out and just take your wheel in and have it fitted, or you can pop in there, buy tyres and fit them yourself. The choice is yours, but they're actually very reasonably priced, very competitively priced. And if they haven't got it, certainly whenever I've been there, usually they can get hold of it. So I'm just going to go and I shan't get anything done today, but I will just go and inquire prices and choices and all the rest of it. Actually not working for a few days, so I'm going to make the most of not being tied up at work. And I shall ride the bike and get my money's worth out of the back tyre, which is basically on fumes as we speak. What else has happened? Well, not a great deal. I got to do a mild recommission on my CCM, because I've not used it for a while, and there's a few little jobs I want to do on it. One of which I won't go into detail now, but I'll make a film on it. I'm actually going to fit or adapt a low front mudguard rather than the high mudguard. I've worked out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. I've got a mudguard that I think was off a KTM, or meant for a KTM. And so that's going to get adapted. There's a little bit of fabrication and bracketry that needs to be fettled, and then that will be fitted. I think it's going to work. We'll see. I'll make the film regardless, and if I make a Horlicks of it, I'll film the fact that I made a Horlicks of it. But certainly when I sketched it on the back of a cigarette packet, it looked to me like it was going to work. And in my head it's going to work. And that's usually good enough. That usually means it's going to work. be careful just here. We drop into a 30 mile per hour speed limit, and there is a combined speed and traffic light camera. And I've never been caught on it, but I do know a couple of people who have been. And it's facing in the same direction as me, so there it is. So we'll get a picture of my number plate. So even on a bike with no front number plate, I'm not going to get away with anything. Okay, next stop, Sticky Stuff. I'm very close to it. Seems to be a lot of traffic kicking about today. How the hell's that reading my speed from that distance? Something wrong there. Here we go, Sticky Stuff. There we go. That's sorted that out. That's one price. I'll be doing a bit of shopping around like you do. We'll see where we are, what we've got, where the best deal is, and we'll take it from there. I was reading something on, I think it was on the Triumph Scrambler page. It was definitely on a Triumph page on social media the other day, and somebody was complaining. It was actually a Scrambler they were complaining about, and they were saying that they have to change, they believe that the bike was a torque monster, which it is, but they were complaining that they had to change down a gear when they were doing built-up area in town speeds. Now I'm doing 30, needles width just over 30 mile an hour, so that is sort of a true 30-ish. And I've changed down a gear. And I could probably go, I'm actually just barely ticking over, doing 1800 RPM. And I could probably go down another gear comfortably. In fact, I could go down another gear comfortably. I'm just about to go around the centre of one of the towns, which is a 20-mile-an-hour zone. And again, here we go, I'm in second gear. I could probably do third, but I'm in second. 2000, just over 2000 RPM. And everybody was, anyway, this person who posted this, everybody was basically saying to him, well, what the hell do you expect? You want something with an automatic gearbox if you don't want to change gear when you're riding slowly, or maybe a trials bike, something that's geared so low. It just made me think of some of the demands people have. I think they're unreasonable demand. That's definitely an unreasonable demand. I mean, yeah, sure, it's a lot easier riding something like this, or, you know, some big torquey bike, big old Harley, or any twin really, or single. A lot easier riding them around urban areas, because you're not chopping around the gearbox all the time. Now, when I first started off, it was very, very revvy two-strokes with lots of gears, and you used to have to play tunes on the gearbox to keep the damn thing going, so you didn't foul spark plugs. Those are the days. And of course you annoyed everybody with the noise, and you were young and reckless, so you even made even more of all the noise and all the gears that you had. Well, sometimes I wonder, I mean, I'm kind of a bit of an old salt when it comes to my bikes. I've been riding them a long time, riding all sorts, all over. And I kind of guess I've got the hang of what's what and what's best for this and what's best for that over the years. So, I don't know, it doesn't frustrate me, it doesn't annoy me either. It just fascinates me that people seem to be perhaps not ill-informed, but perhaps they're riding, you know, bigger bikes, the kind of bikes you'd expect experienced, long lived in the biking world people to be riding, asking some people would say stupid questions, but there's no such thing as a stupid question. Not everybody knows everything. It just it fascinates me that there are people out there asking these questions, bless them. Anyway, this particular, going back to the fella who was on a social media page, asking about re-gearing his bike. Everyone pretty much answered the same way. They were all saying what I was thinking, which was, well, if that bothers you, get yourself something with an automatic gearbox so you haven't got to worry about changing gear. And he never came back. He left all the replies up there, but he never argued his point. I suspect he went away with his tail between his legs. That's a bit unfair, really, isn't it? This from time to time. People come up with weird and wonderful statements, but I suppose not everybody's going to have a technical brain or an experience, you know, lots of experience. This road, seen some action just lately, seen a bit more action by the look of it. This bit here, not too bad, no junctions, no field or farm entrances. I think there might be actually, there aren't many anyway. And nothing much ever happens. You've got a straight here that's, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile long, nothing happens along it. It's pretty safe, you can rattle along it. And then you get to a curve up here. In this direction, it's a right-hand curve. And beyond that, accidents keep happening. And there was a motorcyclist got injured the other day. Somebody pulled out of one of these roads up here. I think it's the one on the right. Didn't see him, pulled out on him and he hit them. So from now on, they've got a junction on the left which is reasonably open and you can see it. There's one up there on the right which frequently people will pull out, think they've got room, and you're doing 50-60 miles an hour and they haven't, so you have to lamp the brakes on. And then when you go along this bit here, there are little farm entrances and there's another junction up here. Little, not so much farm entrances as field entrances, so you can get tractors and farm equipment coming out of the hedge basically. And there's a junction along here, so this bit is not so safe. And then he goes back to normal. Anyway, I don't know the guy who got injured the other day. I just read about it in the local news. believe we've taken a few broken bones, but nothing life-changing, and quite likely a written-off bike. We had a discussion. I went to a bike night last night. We were having a discussion about this, me and a few of my mates. And the weight of traffic, the sheer number of vehicles on the road, has increased by a huge amount since I started riding bikes. And we don't think that that's the main problem. We're all harking back to when we first started riding bikes and driving cars. And back then cars didn't have... they were smaller, they were smaller. They didn't have side protection and front protection and airbags all over the place, and you know, you were basically going to get hurt or die if you were in a car accident back then. But cars have got physically bigger with all their side protection and front protection and rear protection, and a lot of what that means is that the area of glass, the windows have got smaller and the blind spots have got bigger. So it's difficult to see or it's more difficult to see what's going on around you. And there are other distractions that go on inside a car now. I mean, you know, you've got mobile phones and touch screens and all this kind of stuff going on. You never used to have that. You used to have a Johnny Big Knob radio in the dashboard that had terrible reception. And your mates or your missus in your ear, you know, that was how it was back in the day. Now you're in a surround sound theatre with a steering wheel. So that was our conclusion. That's what we thought had happened. I need to see an old car now so I can show you and demonstrate the amount of glass that's in them compared to modern ones. I mean, back in the day, you could be cool. You could have the window down in your car, and you know, have your elbow resting on the ledge there, your shades on. You could be cool, showing off in front of the girls. You can't. They're too high now. Don't want the windows down in my car. You know, my elbow's up in the air. All in the name of safety. All in the name of safety, but unfortunately us motorcycles haven't really changed in size very much. They're basically a very similar size to what they were back in the day. In fact, if anything, some of them have got smaller. More compact. So we don't really stand a chance there. Anyway, I'm going to go and have a beverage of some kind, and while I'm in this neck of the woods. I've done a Tyre inquiry. I'll do a few more online. feel like sitting down with a beverage for 5-10 minutes.